Okay, so we've just pulled up at one of their baby's favourite places. The beach is not looking that great, to be honest, and it's frozen outside. But let's play out. Come on, puppies. It's a lovely place. I'm just putting this key in my pocket, babies, in my bag. I'm going to have to be careful going down these steps because it is frozen. Oh, it is frozen solid on the ground. And I'm like, Looby Loo. So look at that. Isn't that a beautiful view? So the fish farm is just there to the right. And all these houses behind, really lovely houses, but I think they're all holiday lets. They're absolutely huge. Most of them are second homes and holiday lets, so it just shows you that people around here have got money, yeah? And this is a place you buy your second homes and your holiday lets because it's such a beautiful place. But yes, so we are in, I don't even know what it's called, Shian, S-H-I-A-N. I think it's South Shian. But it's absolutely gorgeous. So over there behind me is the main road over there that goes up towards Fort William. In that direction over there towards where the snow is on the mountains. And the other way is heading back towards Auburn. Beautiful, quiet place. The tide is out, but they're very stony beaches, these. And they're hard to walk on. And then you've got all the seaweeds being pushed up because we've had those heavy rainstorms and wind and stuff, so it's not that great. Try and stay down this side, puppies, because we're near the road there and there's cars. Puppies! They're doing the snuffle. They've been really good girls. And yeah, they've been really good. But yeah, you've got your road just there, so you've got to be careful. Even though the it's quite low. Come on, puppies, this way. Oh dear, my hands are cold already. So I've just done the last vlog in the car, but I'm just going to put this on later because I'm going to try and make an effort to do some when I can be bothered. But it's been such a long time. I know I was saying this before, you know, when you're on your own a lot, you get addicted to it and then you can't be bothered with people. And it's hard to be bothered without. And I've got my clubs that force me to speak to people. And the reason I prefer clubs is because we've already got something in common. And I don't feel I've got anything in common much with the average person. So if you join a club, you know you've got that thing in common and that's all that matters. So you just know them while you're there and then you don't hang out with them outside of it. And I find that those kind of friendships, if you like, are easier for me because then I'm not forcing myself to try and hang out with somebody when I don't want to. It's sort of regulated and we're just going to meet at this day and this time and then I'm going home and that's it. It's hard. But that's the easiest way for me to get on. And I do like the people I meet as well. There's some lovely people about. But outside of the club, we don't have nothing in common. So, for example, there's one person I get on. I get on with them all, but the one person in particular we get on really well. And he says, "Would you like to meet me up with me outside of here? We'll just go for a walk." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And then I'm like, I don't know, because I think it's hard if it's a man, to be honest, because what are their intentions? So then I'm like, well, I probably better not unless there's a woman comes along as well, just so I know that it's... I've just shut down, haven't I? I can't be bothered with people in that way. I think I'll spend the rest of my life on my own, because you feel safe by yourself. When you're on your own, you just do your thing, don't you? And it's what you want when you want. And if you can't be bothered, then you don't have to be bothered. But when you're with people, you've got to make an effort. And I think you can get so tired of making efforts that you just can't be bothered with them anymore. I live hundreds of miles away from my family. And I love them to bits. But when I lived down at home, they were always around. And we all lived on the same street as well, because we all bought our houses around the same time. And they were always in my house every day, and it was lovely to see them all. But what do you talk about when you see somebody all the time? And it's the same thing on loop, and I can't cope with small talk, and I can't cope with, do you remember when this and do you remember when that? Because I think we should be making those memories now, not living in the past ones. So I prefer to be with somebody who I can experience something new with. But it is, I'm freezing. I'm trying. It looks so gorgeous, doesn't it? And look at the mountains. It's just a beautiful place, absolutely stunning. But it's absolutely Baltic. Oh gosh! But I'm doing this for the sake of the doggies, and we're only having a little walk. And I'm just going for a little road trip because the car needs a bit of a run as well. And it's just nice to get out and about, because I think you can get cabin fever if you're in too much. So, and because it gets dark early, you feel like you haven't got much of a day, because it's probably 3 o'clock now. It'll be dark within an hour. Well, it'll be getting dark. So this is the best time to get out and about. The usual walks we do, I've just been round them, and there's loads of people, and I realised it's because people are still on holiday, so everybody does the same thing when they're all off at the same time, and I'd rather be where there's no people. So you've got to try and find loads of different walks, so you've always got one to yourself. But it's lovely to come somewhere by yourself, because you feel like this all belongs to me, and I feel really lucky. So I love this. And look how flat calm the sea is. Beautiful. And to think, this time last year, in January, I think it was mid-January, my daughter and grandson came, and we went on a holiday, all three of us, and we went to Mull, and we hired a cottage there, and it was absolutely lovely. And we went over to Iona, and everybody kept saying, you need to go to Iona because it's such a special place, because it's a very spiritual place. It's where all the monks went, and they've got the abbey there that's hundreds of years old and everything. And do you know what? I didn't feel it. And everyone said, oh, you'll definitely feel it, but I think it's been diluted. And I think, oh gosh, when I was reading the history of the place, they've turned it into an LGBT island, and I think they've diluted the spirituality down. So it's like an anything goes island, you know. We're more concentrated on an agenda. Puppy, down this way. We're more concentrating on trying to please everybody, so that it's no longer the niche place that it was. I didn't feel it there. Beautiful island, but not what I was expecting at all. I thought I was going to go there and end up crying, because it was so like emotional, because of all the atmosphere and all the vibes from the island, and I just didn't get that. And we went when it was quiet and there was no tourists, and it was like this, but actually warm. And considering it was January, it was so warm. We were on the beach I can't remember what the beach is called, but we were stood on the beach in t-shirts in January, and we absolutely had a beautiful time. And we went over to Tobermory for our meals and stuff, and it was great. And the ferry ride was fun as well, because we ended up on the small ferry, and it was a massive anticlimax, because the big one's the best, because you've got all the cafes on there and little bookshops and a bar and things like that. And the little one we ended up on was literally, you just sit on the ferry all the way there with a vending machine, and it was like, we laughed all the way there and back, me and Caleb, but it was it was still funny. And then when we came back, the weather just changed into a normal winter, and it was almost like the universe or whatever just gave us the perfect week and said, there you go, you deserve that, have the best holiday. And it was great. So a year later I'm here, and I don't think anybody's coming to see me this January or February. But if my car was up to it, I think I'd like to do a road trip. But you've got to be careful with a small car like this, because when you're talking about the Scottish Highlands in winter, I know a lot of the roads are in trouble at the moment because of the floods that would have had, but there's also lots of ice on the roads as well. And you can see by the snow-capped mountains, the further north you go, the colder it's going to get and the bleaker. So it's a bit too scary to do a road trip by myself in winter. If anything happened to my car or anything, I wouldn't be able to phone anybody or do anything about it. So I don't mind doing it with someone, but on my own's a bit scary, because I have done this before. I've gone up to places like Glencoe and I used to live by the Rest and Be Thankful as well. And places like that in winter can be really, really bleak. And I've gone into places where I've got a little bit stuck, and I've started panicking and thinking, oh, I'll never get out, I'll never get out of here. And it's really freaked me out at the time, and I've always laughed after, thinking, how many near-death experiences can you have before you just say, I'm not doing that anymore? But I have done that so many times. I have got lost many, many a time with the sat-navs. I've ended up in the middle of mountain ranges on my own. I've got lost in the middle of a massive forest. Oh gosh, and there's times when I've fallen and I've been laid there in a ditch, and I'm thinking, if anything really, really went wrong, I'm screwed. But then there's always that thing inside of you that says, we're all going to die, so why be scared of living? So just go and do it anyway. So there's that part of me that does that. Now, considering how freezing it is right now, and it is Baltic, there was two, they call them, what do they call them now on New Year's Day, where people all jump in the sea? I forgot what the name is, but they did it at Tralee, and they did it in Oban, and absolutely tons of people turned up, and some of them were wearing swimming trunks, and they just jump in the sea, and it is Baltic, and I'm like, how do they do that without dying? Because there's been loads of times when I've gone swimming in the sea. I say swimming very loosely, not drowning in the sea. And I've got in, and it took me half an hour to get from my big toe to my chest, because I have to do it at like a tiny bit at a time to get used to the temperature. And these people just jump straight in, and I think, my heart would just stop if I did that. So, oh, my silly chest. But I've been round here loads of times. Steve's yacht was over there, and I went on the yacht a few times last year, and it was absolutely fantastic, and I thought I didn't think I'd like it, but I did. But I won't be going on that one again. But at least I did it while it was there. And I went on a couple of ferry rides last year. I call them cruises, because I just stay on them and go there, wait for the new passengers to come on, and then just come straight back. And it's only to go to Mull from here. on foot is £11 return, and you're on the ferry for a couple of hours, and it's really nice because all the views are just absolutely stunning. If you go on a nice day, it's absolutely stunning. And I always sit outside on the deck and I look around and I think, I am so lucky to live in such a beautiful place. Scotland has got to be the #1 location to live in as far as I'm concerned. I think it is absolutely stunning. If you love the outdoors and the dramatic scenery, it's absolutely lovely place, and there's not many people, so that's why I love it as well, because I can drive my car for an hour and see 5 cars, but if I go down home it's just wall-to-wall traffic and I can't cope with it. City driving, just no for me. But up here, one road all the way to Fort William pretty much, and it takes nearly an hour to get there, and it's just absolutely stunning. The drive, it's just beautiful, and I'm just so lucky to live up here. And I can't believe my birthday was in September, and that was a 10-year anniversary for me to be in Scotland, and I can't believe I've been up here for 10 years pretty much. I've done my little stint back down home, which I hated, and I swore I'd never go back. Puppies, we're going to go back this way because there's too much water there. But yeah, I came back, and I'll never leave again. I think Scotland is definitely where my heart is, and I'll never leave here, but it's just the most beautiful place to live. Oh gosh, and it attracts the same kind of people as me. A lot of van lifers, a lot of people come here for the solitude and the hill walking and mountaineering and stuff, and it's the place to be. So lucky to be here. So I fulfilled one wish in my life, and I've managed to sustain it, because I've been on the where I am now, the actual location. This is 5 years, end of this month. I've been here 5 years, and it's gone so fast and so much has happened. But yeah, I've just been really lucky in a lot of ways. Oh gosh, I'm going to go because it is getting absolutely Baltic on my hands now. But anyway, I've just, you know what I said to you before, I just waffle. I can talk all day about nothing, and sometimes I'm not aware that it's boring. But anyway, I'm going to go. If you did watch it to end, well done.